What's up, guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Miami. This is season 6, episode 9. I also want to say happy holidays. I hope you're enjoying your holiday or your break or whatever may have you. Even if you weren't in the Christmas spirit, I still hope you had a wonderful time by yourself or with your family. But let's get into this review. All right, y'all. So please bear with me. I've been trying to record this video for the past hour. I am not in a reviewing mood. I'm just not in a reviewing mood, but I don't want videos to get backed up. So, and one of my New Year's resolutions was being more consistent with the channel and with like different tasks that I set my mind to. So here I am. But this leads me into this rant. So let me just say this. Let me say this, Greg. Let me say this, Greg. I do not like how Bravo is playing with Real Housewives of Miami. I feel like they are disrespecting them and not giving them a fair shot to succeed. And three reasons why I feel that way. Number one, I'm one of the girlies that did not want them to take this show off of Peacock because I felt like Peacock, they were more respected and they had a solid fan base that was exclusive in the sense of like people who wanted to watch the show were watching the show, as well as they had their own designated day. So number one, they had their own designated day, but we don't have that with them on Bravo. They have to share their day with Miami. There's nothing that comes on Mondays, Housewives related on Mondays or Thursday. Why not just put Miami on Thursday? Why do they have to come on after Beverly Hills? Because it's definitely not translating, because people who like Beverly Hills are not watching Miami after Beverly Hills. Number two, they keep messing with their scheduling because, girl, why last episode did they have my Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiere at their regular time at 8 o'clock? Miami premiered at 10 o'clock because they gave Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip Legacy, like Roni Legacy, their slot at 8. And I get it. Nobody is really talking about Roni Legacy the way that people were talking about, you know, the past 3 seasons of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. I don't know. Maybe the hype got brought down because of Ramona's ass, her racist self. I don't know. I don't know. Ramona's problematic. We all know that. But I don't know. I've seen people speak about it, but not to the same level as the other 3 versions of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So I get it. They wanted it to run after Beverly Hills because Beverly Hills has been very consistent with their ratings, but I don't know if that translated. So I feel like y'all already disrespected them by pumping them down. Like, you didn't give them their own day. You pushing them down in their time slot to now this. If y'all, why are you not giving them a hiatus like the other 3 housewife shows that are running? I think Salt Lake City doesn't premiere till January the 2nd. Then Beverly Hills doesn't come back till January the 3rd. And then Potomac doesn't come back till January the 7th. Why couldn't Miami be on hiatus? Because, like I said, I've been struggling to do this review for an hour because I was struggling through the episode, and it wasn't a bad episode. It actually was a good episode. Like, I was like, ooh, they gearing up the drama. But I think the reason why I struggled is because it's during the holidays. Like, we're 3 days after, is it 3 days? Yeah, 3 days after Christmas. So, and like, I think Kwanzaa just started, other religious holidays, and people are still traveling for the holidays. Like, people are either busy watching Christmas specials, they're hanging out with their friends and family, or they're just taking like a sabbatical from online like activities and trying to re-gear and recharge for the New Year's. As well as, people are still feeling the effects of what is happening around them, i.e. the horrible situation that's. Overseas. So it's like there's a lot of things going on where I feel like Why are y'all not taking that into consideration? It also feels like they're trying to rush this season, which I don't get why, because this season is actually a pretty decent season, in my opinion. We have a good group dynamic. You can tell that collectively this group works well together. There are people who are friends, more friends than others, but there are people who are developing new friendships that are seems really solid. We have good personal storylines from certain people in the group, not everybody, but from certain people in the group. And I've laughed several times. So I don't get why they removed them off of Peacock to not give them a fair shot. That's all I got to say. But let's get into this review for real. All right, y'all. So the episode opens up and we see Alexia, Todd, not Todd, Alex. I think it was Alexia, Frankie, and Peter. We found out that Peter has found him an apartment, and Alexia is taking him to the furniture store to like pick out furniture. And while they're there, they get on the topic of like renting. I think Frankie ends up asking Alexia like, "What does renting mean?" And she explains to him that like like how we rent our home, their beautiful apartment. We also find out that Alexia and Todd and whoever else lives with them, they got to vacate the premises in 30 days because the person that they were renting from sold their apartment and now they have to find somewhere else to live. You know, I give Peter the blues, and I'm gonna always give Peter the blues because he gives arrogant dickwad. He just gives that. But I do hope he is moving in the right direction. Alexia said he ain't got a girlfriend, praise God on high. Peter don't need to be in nobody's relationship until he figures out himself. But I do somewhat feel for him because it's like he's 29 or like 30. And as you get older, you start to realize like you really don't have life figured out the way you thought you would have by the time you get to those ages. Like life will punch you in the throat and beat you with a stick by the time you get there or afterwards. And you be like, let up, bruh. Like, let me breathe. Let me get up. Let me get up. So I really do hope he got his stuff together. I wish he would go to therapy. I wish Alexia would go to therapy, but we know they too prideful for that. So we then, you know what? I'm going to just do the scene together. We then see Alexia go meet up with Todd later in the episode at his job. And he's like having a meeting with like his colleagues. And then she sits down with him to have lunch. And she talks about how she's irritated with him being so calm about moving. Todd lets us know that Alexia kind of like worked herself up because when she got the information while they were in Palm Beach that they had to leave the house in 15 days, that wasn't the case. Todd said that their lease or whatever they had going, their agreement with the landlord was like up on that day. And I think the landlord assumed that like, because it seems like they were paying like month to month. That they were paying month to month, and then I guess maybe they got short on payments. I don't know. But the landlord basically said he sold their property and they got 30 days to vacate the premises so the people that purchase a property can move in. I feel so bad because that apartment is beautiful. I feel bad for us because that's one thing, even though Alexia gets on my nerves, I thought her apartment was gorgeous. The best part of that apartment was that like clear glass elevator garage thing. Like I didn't even think that stuff was real. I thought that was like some made for TV type stuff. But I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. That's cool. So she's stressed. She's kind of annoyed because Todd is so calm. And I was like, Todd is only calm because Todd doesn't feel like he has to do anything. He's like, Alexia, I'm giving you the money, just find the apartment. And she's like, well, no, I need you to help me make decisions on things. But they're still thinking about having a rental property that's $40,000 to $50,000 a month, which doesn't make sense to me. Why not just purchase a home? Like, but I do understand that some people actually like apartment living versus living at a house. But like, I'm more of like, let me live in the suburbs. I'm a suburban chick. Okay. And I'm a suburban girl in the sense of like, the city is maybe 20 or 15 minutes away, or I could get on a metro or the subway or something, or a bus. Like that's or a trolley or something to get somewhere. I'm not into like being in the city. Like parallel parking like was the demise of my vision of being in the city because I can't parallel park to save my life, okay? I can do it, but the anxiety that it causes me, I don't want that stress in my life. Just give me a nice little suburban area. I can diagonal park, I can reverse park, but no parallel parking. So she's stressed. Todd is acting like, girl, I'm gonna just give you the money, find a place. But what I don't like is, like, you can clearly see that Todd be leaving Alexia out to dry. Like, he did it with the sunrise party where he didn't show up, to only show up to Larsa's 5-day anniversary, whatever crap, for Marcus' party, to have that awkward speech about why he didn't want to be there, to now this, where you clearly can tell that your wife is stressed and you're like, girl, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to throw money at you and you going to find a place. When it's like, no, that is a big deal. Having to pack up all your stuff in a month, having to find a place to move. And like Alexia says, even though their daughters, like Todd's daughters, are going away for college, she still wants a decent sized house for them to come back and have a good time at. And then you got Frankie. I don't know when Alexia is going to let that boy live on his own, but it ain't going to be no time soon. So it has to be a nice sized house. It's just like, Todd is irritating. He is irritating. So let's talk about Gertie and her family. So we see Gertie and her boys at the bowling alley. And I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I started to tear up during this. And it was mainly because of the oldest son, because I felt really bad for him. And they're at the bowling alley, they're sitting down there like eating food, and Gertie decides to talk to her kids about her cancer diagnosis. She said, I know Dad has spoken to you about it, but I want to know if y'all are okay. I want to know how we're feeling about this. And like I said, I teared up because of the oldest, because you could tell he's struggling. Like, he sunk into himself. His leg was going. He was fidgety. He wasn't really making eye contact with her. She had to reach to touch his hand to like tell him, like, I'm okay. Like, we're going to get through this. Like, nothing's going to change. We're still going to operate as a regular family. You got the oldest one, not the oldest, the youngest one, kind of just eating his food, just looking around, trying to take everything in his way. And then I remember I was looking at comments, like I was looking at the clip, and then I was looking at comments and seeing how a lot of people were saying that, like, that's how they coped when their dad or their mom told them that they had cancer. And it was just sad, because I was like, dang, nobody wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that their mom is sick or that their dad is sick, especially if they have like a really healthy relationship with them. And I was just like, oh, like, I wanted them to hug him, but I feel like maybe that probably would have made it worse. He probably would have broke down in tears, and don't nobody want to be crying in no dirty bowling alley. Like, nobody wants to be crying anyway. And so she tells the oldest one to, like, oh, go take your brother to go play like arcade games. And so he gets up and leaves. And then she asks Russell, like, do you think I did a good job? Do you think I did it right? And he's like, no, I think you did well. And Russell's like, man, I wish you weren't going through this. I wish I could take this away from you. I wish I was the one dealing with it. And that's a good man. Russell is a good man, girl. Russell's a good man. I don't know, if anything has ever happened between them, like infidelity or anything of that nature. I hope not. I don't think there has, but that's a good, because you never know what type of relationship someone really has. We just get like 10% of their relationship, but what we seen, that's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man. He loved him some Gertie. And I know a lot of people are very cynical when it comes to love, even myself included, but that is what a partner, like what Russell and Gertie has, is what a partner should be. Someone who takes care of you when you're at your most vulnerable, when you're at your weakest, who supports you, who pushes you up. That is what it's supposed to be. And I'm just happy that she has that while she's going through something this serious, that she has a actual man, like, because that's what a man is, someone that supports their family. Like, he's taking care of his kids. He was the one that had the conversation about cancer because she couldn't do it, and he's the one being there for her, really being a partner. So I'm glad she has that. And again, we're happy that she's in remission and that she seems to be doing great. And I hope she continues to do great. So let's talk about Nicole. So we see this scene where she's with her mom at the house. They're like sitting down to have wine, and she's rehashing going out on that like lunch date with her dad, and telling her mom like, girl, he telling me he want to have more kids, but I'm finding out that you got two kids I don't know about. And the mom is like, yeah. And Nicole is like telling her mom like, did you know he had two other kids? And the mom is like, well, I knew about one, but I didn't know about the other one. And Nicole's like, well, I was thinking about doing like that, the DNA kick where you could swab your mouth and figure out whether or not like there's somebody else that has your DNA. And the mom is like, do you want to open up Pandora's box? And I actually agree with the mom. Like, are you sure you can handle all of that? And maybe she might be more inclined to do it because unfortunately her dad passed away. So maybe she does want to get to know those other two kids because she knows the other one. But the mom had I had a point where she was like, what if they are little kids, like 7 or 8? Like, are you like, you're going to want to be a part of their lives? Like, are you sure you want to take that on? And that's the thing. Like, if they are that young, that means that they really don't have control over the relationship. It's like to really be like, hey, I want to have a relationship with you. You know what I mean? Like their moms or the families that they're with might not want you to be a part of their kid's life. So that's like a lot. And I don't know if Nicole, and I mean, she might be more prompted to do it now that her dad has passed away to get to know them. But the mom is right. Like, are you prepared to open up Pandora's box? Because you might learn even more things about your daddy that you don't like. Y'all, let's talk about Lisa. I gotta whisper when I say this, but I understand why Lenny left. And that's not me saying, that is definitely not me saying that I condone or think the things that he's doing to her are right. I don't. I think he's still dumpster juice and trash. But Lisa is very self-centered and lacks self-awareness, and it's wild to me that like that she's like this. Because you would think after experiencing everything with Lenny that maybe it might make her like reevaluate how she shows up in life. But I feel like this situation has made it worse because we have this scene of her where she's at Jody's house. He decides to do the same exact thing Lisa did for Lenny last season, where they have a date by the water, and it is exactly the same. You got Lisa, the table outside, the guy, the private chef coming to feed them. Lisa's pulling out her phone, getting her content. And I get that's annoying after a while, especially like it's like, girl, just be present in the moment. You can still make content, well, but you could do it afterwards, like when after y'all eat, take a picture and talk about how lovely the dinner was and how lovely this guy you are with. But to do it like it's kind of off-putting. Then she's filming and all that stuff. And as she's sitting at the table, we find out that Jody decided to do this dinner for her because he felt bad hearing how the ladies treated her in Palm Beach, especially when they had that last night dinner and where they talk about how, her finances, how they're tired of hearing her speak about Lenny, and how, I think Gertie was the one that says, is Jody just here to take care of you, or does he really like support you emotionally? And Jody was kind of taken aback by it because he was like, these girls have always been nice and kind to me, so I'm kind of taken aback that they would even question like financially like what I do for you or how I do for you. And she's like, yeah, she's like, I can't believe they did that to me after like, they know what I've been through with Lenny and how hard this year has been for me. It's just, I just can't believe they would do me like this. And then to constantly bring up you and how, I tell them you're a godsend. You always listen to me about Lenny. And then this was when Lisa's face got cracked because Jody even said, he was like, yeah, it's a lot for me too. And sometimes I do feel like you should check up on me more or ask me how I'm doing. And Lisa's mouth was like, oh, like her she was kind of taken aback, like, oh, like you want me to actually ask how you're doing? And it's like, yeah, girl, it's a relationship. Two people's feelings matter in this relationship. Because then we find out that Jody he's a little nervous and anxious. He's like having to restart a new company after 12 years, I think he said. And he's just like, it has been a lot for him. We know he's still like, he's going through his divorce with his wife and everything. So he has things that he's going through too. And Lisa's like, well, Ooh. So now she's in her confessional like, well, maybe I haven't been, really considerate of his feelings, and maybe I do need to hold off on talking about Lenny. And it's like, yeah, girl, your friends were telling you that because they care. Did they do it in kind of a crappy way? Yes, but it's like, Lisa, what they were saying wasn't a lie and it wasn't wrong. And then we also get more information about the whole lawsuit thing, or the motion that Lenny filed to have like full custody of the kids, and saying that Lisa was unfit. That it seems that it was just a ploy for Lenny to pick at Lisa, because Lisa was like, there's no date for us to meet in court. He just filed the motion. So Lisa says, I'm about to file a motion for it to get dropped because I'm tired of playing these games. And it's like, are you really tired of playing these games? Like, are you really, sis? Because I don't know. I feel like I understand where Lisa is coming from. It's like, I deserve the money that's owed to me. But I feel like at this point, I would try to like cut my losses and be done with Lenny, because it just seems like fighting this is more of a hassle. Like, I get wanting to get the money you deserve with helping him build his company and all of that stuff, but I would be more concerned about like getting custody of my kids if I really didn't want him to have it, and working out the child support agreement before like everything else. And I don't know if all of this is about the child support and everything, or if it's a combination of child support and like spousal support and everything rolled into one. So Lisa tells Lenny, she's going to work on, really taking more of an initiative to see how he's doing. We then get this scene of Larsa and Lisa meeting up, and they're having lunch together. The waiter, girl, I know he told everybody that he was going to be on TV, because he was so close to Larsa every time he came back to the table. And then he was very like chipper. And I'm not even going to hate on him getting his shine on TV. He looked good for him. So Lisa and Larsa are sitting down at the table, and they're just talking about how hard everything has been about being divorcees. And Larsa talks about how, she didn't realize that once she divorced Scotty, that like she was divorcing his family. She thought that maybe her and Scotty and his family would still be cool, like she wouldn't have lost them. But I'm also like, Larsa, the way you and Scotty broke up was messy. We thought you was cheating on that man with Future and then that other athlete. Like, not saying that Scotty ain't cheated on Larsa, because he probably has. He more than likely has. But it was just kind of like the way y'all relationship like rolled, like the divorce rollout was messy, and it didn't paint you in the best light. So of course his family was probably going to have resentment towards you and ride for their uncle or their brother or their nephew or their cousin, and still look at you like you were like the op. Like, I don't understand why she thought they weren't gonna look at her like that. She tries to muster up a tear because there was nothing coming out those eyes. While they're talking, Lisa gets like a flash alert, and I'm with Larsa. I hate them things. Like, Larsa was like, I thought I was gonna get electrocuted. I have a couple of friends who have that. It always makes me anxious, and it always hurts my eyes. I'm like, if you're gonna have that, don't point your phone straight up or keep it in your purse or in your pocket. But it was an alert so that Lisa could check in on Jody to see how he's doing. So Larsa is like, you have to have an alert to check up on your boyfriend. And Larsa's like, I don't need that because, I think about Marcus every day. Yeah, girl, because you act like you're a 15-year-old in high school. It's weird. It's weird. You're 48. Calm down. And Lisa, it calls Jody, but then she tells Jody that she got the alarm on her phone to check up on him. And I was with Larsa. Larsa was like, you don't tell him that. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Lisa, it should not be a task for you to check up on this man. It should, like, you should want to make sure he's okay, or want to check to see how he's doing. The fact that you have to have an alert on your phone to make sure that you are making sure that the man that you're with, that you claim that you're in love with, that is such this godsend, that he is just the best thing since sliced bread. That's weird behavior, and it shows that you're not healed from the situation with Lenny, and it's time for you to let Jody go and stand up on your own 2 feet and go to therapy, sis. Because that, like, if a man ever called me and was like, well, my alarm that says I needed to check up on you just went off. First of all, your life is not that busy that you need that. You set alarms to like take your birth control or to like go to a doctor's appointment, or to like call like like your grandparents at a certain time to make sure like they're doing okay or they took their medication. Like you don't set an alert to make sure that you check up on your boyfriend. That is weird. So the Mamacita's party. But you know what? Before we get there, let's talk about Adriana and Julia. So earlier in the episode, we have a scene of Adriana and Julia going to visit Julia's farmhouse. Now, I think she did great on her renovations for the house that was attached to the farm. But like Julia has said, her farm hobby has become very expensive. Yeah, girl, you have 257 chickens. 17 goats, 12 cows, 11 tortoises, 10 dogs, 2 donkeys. All that food is expensive. I hope you selling them eggs. I don't know. Can you milk the cows to get some money for milking? I don't know what you're doing, man, but you're doing a lot. I hope you have a farm hand because that's a lot to take care of. We also find out that Martina is not helping Julia when it comes to everything. Like Julia is financially backing all of this herself. And I'm not mad at it because if I was Martina, I wouldn't want to. And Martina made it pretty much very clear that she didn't want a farm. So yes, this is your hobby. This is something you have to financially take care of. And I'm not mad at it. So we then see them in a car together, I guess going back to wherever they're going to. And this is where Adriana irritates me. Y'all be going up for Adriana thinking I think she's pivotal to the show. Don't get me wrong. I think her, Kiki, and Marisol are great friends of the show, but I hate this edit of how y'all tried to like victimize Adriana when she's not a victim. She gets messy with the girls the same amount as the girls get messy with her. Sometimes worse, in my opinion, because she be saying stuff that like hits people in the chest. Because they're sitting in the car together and Adriana is talking about how she didn't like how the ladies came at Lisa when they were on Palm Beach. More specifically, she takes issue with Alexia saying that Alexia was being a hypocrite. I'm like, how was Alexia being a hypocrite? Because the advice Alexia gave, in my opinion, was good advice. She basically told Lisa, like, girl, do you want to like financially deplete yourself? To the like, do you like, she basically told Lisa, like, I was fighting Herman's estate, trying to get what I thought was owed to me, what I felt was owed to me, only to lose. And then when I tried to fight it again, my man told me, girl, I'm not helping you with that because it's not good for you. And Alexia even told Lisa, like, you deserve everything you're fighting for, Lisa, but like, it like at what cost, basically? Like, it's financially depleting you, it's mentally depleting you, it's physically and emotionally depleting you. Like, girl, you have to let it go. And I'm trying to figure out, how is that bad advice? I don't get how that's bad advice. And I'm also looking at her like, why are you not questioning your friend? That's the part that's weird to me, is because Julia did the same thing by saying Marisol was the one that's kicking up dirt and she's doing this and doing that. But I'm like, your friend Adriana does that too, Julia. And now I'm looking at Adriana being like, why are you not mad at Julia when Julia basically questioned Lisa's parenting? Basically told Lisa she didn't know she was a good mom. It's in them words. She basically told that lady, I don't think what you did was a good parental decision. So I'm like, and you're not mad at her, but you're mad at Alexia. So then Adriana brings up how she got in contact or Anna got in contact with her. So she was like, or Julia's like, who is Anna? And she's like, Anna Conquicos. I think that's how you say her last name. And she's like, oh, like Julia's eyebrows. When I tell you Julia's eyes got big, like, oh my gosh, she's like Adriana. Like her eyes got so big, like she started wiping her face. She took off her glasses and she's just kind of like, because Julia's at this point where she don't want to beef with Alexia because she feels like her and Alexia are in a good place. So she don't want no issues. And she also, I think, is starting to see that Adriana might get her in trouble with the group, so she probably don't want to be in that headspace with them. But Adriana lets us know that Anna used to be real cool with Marisol and Alexia. Like 20, they used to have like a good 22 or 25-year friendship. They all fell out. And then I guess Marisol and Alexia started bullying Anna. And I highly doubt that because I watched season 2 and Anna wasn't my favorite. But one thing I did like about her is that she spoke her mind and she didn't back down from nobody. So I'm pretty much, I feel like it's pretty far fetched and a reach to think that they was bullying her. They always probably talking mad trash about each other. And bullying, to me, the way that Adriana acts like the girls bully her is what they did to Karen. I didn't even like Karen. But when I went back and rewatched the season, they were on that lady's neck for no reason because they thought she was a fraud and fake. They was all coming at her. So let's not act like she's like Anna is or Anna is some saint, because she not. So Julia's in the car telling Adriana, like, well, I don't think we should be talking about Alexia's finances, as well as if you're going to relay this information, you need to let it be known that it was Julie, not that it was Anna that gave you this information and that you didn't go digging for it, because that's going to make you look messy. And, Adriana's like, yeah, I know, but she's always flaunting her money, and we know you having financial problems, and we wouldn't judge you if you just would tell us. And this is my thing. Adriana is jealous and she's bitter about her life. And my thing is, I don't like using those terms like jealousy and bitter and envious when it comes to women, because I feel like it's low hanging fruit and everybody always uses that. But Adriana fits that. It's like you say you want to be cool with Alexia in the beginning of the season. You're waving the white flag of peace. But then while you're on her way to her new beginnings party, you're talking trash about her. Then when y'all are on the sprinter, you going off on her because you think her and Marisol was talking trash about you in the bathroom when all they were saying is they didn't want to be around you while you were farting in an enclosed space. Now you're sitting here talking about financially. Oh, then you were telling Anthony, like, the difference between all money, like what it means to be wealthy and what it means to be rich. You're quiet wealthy. And Anthony wanted no parts of your conversation. Then you have this situation now where Julia's sitting in the car like, girl, like, and my thing about it is, I guarantee you, if Adriana was with a man or have financial means of her own that set her in a place where she was comfortable, where she didn't have to worry about things, she wouldn't be worried about Alexia. Adriana hates the fact that she's not in a place to where Alexia is, or doesn't have the same monetary income as Alexia, because there's no reason why you're this obsessed with exposing that this lady is having financial problems. It's great for TV, but it makes you look like a weirdo. So we get to the Mamacita's party, and it actually looks really nice. Like I said before, Nicole's event planner does a beautiful job. So everyone is prepared to come. You see Larsa get picked up in a Hyundai. I think it was a Hyundai by Lisa. And Lisa is acting like she's doing something, so like she's grandstanding. Like she's like, y'all said I should be in this car. Now look at me in this car. And I'm like, girl, first of all, why did you take your housekeeper's car? Second of all, girl, this is what you should be driving if this is what you can afford. And then when we saw the police officer stop them, she was thinking that she was getting arrested for driving the car. And I was like, so did you steal the lady's car? I'm confused, Lisa, because why would he arrest you? And then Larsa is sitting in that car uncomfortable because she's like, girl, this is not the cars I drive or ride in. You could have got us an Uber Black something, but not this. And I'm just kind of like, it's a car. It gets you to point A to point B. As long as it doesn't have any ties to Lenny, I probably would be fine with it. We then see Kiki be the first one at the Mamacita's party, looking good because Kiki looked good. And you see her looking around the table, her and Nicole hug. And she's like, oh my God, who are these other people here at the table? And Nicole's like, oh, my best friend from high school and my best friend from college are joining us. And then Kiki sees Anna and she said, girl, who is Anna? Who is Anna? And she was like, Nicole's like, Anna con Kikos. And Kiki looked at her like, girl, for real? Like, you really invited that lady? And Nicole's like, Kiki, you're worrying me. Like, what's wrong? And Kiki's like, girl, either this could be a great day or a day from hell. Like, you know that Marisol and Alexia don't get along with that lady. Why would you invite her? And Nicole's like, no, I didn't think it was that deep. I thought it was something that happened 10 years ago or something like that. I didn't think it was something so serious. And Kiki's like, girl, So then Julia gets there. Julia sees Anna's name, and then Alexia and Marisol get there around the same time. And then Alexia sees Anna's name, and she's like, who, Anna, who? And they said Conquicos, and everything goes left. Alexia gets angry. She basically tells Nicole that she's being mean and like she's being vindictive, and just own the fact that you invited that lady to get back at Marisol for the way that Marisol treated her. And Alexia kept saying, I don't have no issue with her, but I'm gonna stand up for my friend. And it kind of read that like Alexia does have an issue with her. Marisol has an issue with her, but I don't think Marisol was gonna make it a big deal, because it kind of seemed like Marisol was gonna let it play out because she's already in hot water. She probably didn't want to ruin another event. But then when Alexia got amped, Marisol got amped. So Marisol was like, yeah, that sounds crazy for me to sit across the table from a lady that says she wanted me dead. Like, I'm good. She called me a walking corpse. She called my husband gay. Like, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to go. Mind you, they said that they weren't going to leave. They leave with the jean jackets. I would have left with a jean jacket because them jean jackets is cute, and I'm a jean jacket type of girl. And it had my name. And if it had my name on it, oh, I'm definitely taking it with me. So... So Nicole is like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And she was like, I told everyone that they could have a +1. Adriana asked for the +1. And she said she wanted to bring Anna. And I said, okay. And then Alexia was like, girl, you let yourself be played because Anna and Adriana aren't even friends like that. Why would you invite her? I said, girl, Anna got the girls upset, pressed, and disgusted. Okay. Because they was like, oh no. And so then they leave. And that's how it ended. How the episode ended. It was a mess. But what I will say is, I definitely think there's going to be a shift in Julia and Adriana's relationship, because Julia was like in her confessional talking about she's connecting the dots. Now it makes sense why Adriana brung up Anna, and she's just like, girl, why? Why are you doing this? And I said, because your friend is messy and you need to accept it. And you're messy too, Julia. But yeah, y'all. I didn't think I was going to be this long-winded, but I am. But that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic. Be safe out there. If you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up. Drop down in them comments below and subscribe. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.